Hi everyone, this is actually a long overdue video. I had done a home tour of our other house a couple years back, and I basically had to fly through it because I didn't have a lot of memory on my SD card at the time, and I had a lot of requests to slow down and show more detail, and I had wanted to explain some of the stuff that I had done, and I'm going to try to do that in this video. What you're looking at right here, we moved, and I have had to find new homes for things. I don't have quite as much stuff out because this house isn't quite as big as the other house, and I've had to put things in different locations and use them in different ways. But some of this stuff I can still kind of show you what I did and give you a little detail. This tree right here is sitting on my bench in my eat-in. And that coat flat I actually got at our mission for $2. So I was really happy with that. The tree is in an old pail. I want to say it came from the mission for $1 too, and you probably can't see it. But it's just an old actual bucket, like a gardening bucket. And the tree itself came from the mission as well, and I want to say it was $3.50, and it actually is one of the type of trees that has the different kinds of branches. You know, it's got like pine, and then it's got pine cones and other things. The little gingerbread men that you see on here were actually part of a garland, and it never quite matched. I've had it for years. A friend of mine actually gave that to me, and I held on to it because the little gingerbreads were so cute. And I decided when I did this gingerbread tree that I would cut it apart and just kind of spread the little gingerbread men out. The cinnamon bundles I made, I actually got these cinnamon sticks at the Dollar Tree. Typically cinnamon sticks are really expensive. Craft stores and you know, country places, whatever. But these were in big bundles at the Dollar Tree, so I had bought quite a few of those because I knew I would use them. And to rescent them, you just put, you know, soak them in cinnamon oil, and they're tied with some raffia. And I just spread those out. And this tree, every year I take everything off of it and I box it up, and then the next year I put everything back on. The little wrapped candies are picks that I got from Hobby Lobby. The cookie cutters, you know, obviously metal cookie cutters. These I got at the mission too, but you know, you can get the metal cookie cutters. I think Walmart actually had them this year. They had tons of ours had them left over for 10 cents or something. And the metal spoons I got at our mission. I buy these anytime I find them, and there's also some little tiny measuring cups on here, right back here. This stuff, you just kind of have to watch for it. I know you guys are familiar with the cinnamon and applesauce ornaments. I made just all kinds of those. There's some I painted little faces on. My daughter, and she actually helped me. But I just cut a whole bunch of different shapes. Here's one. The little rolling pins you can get. Sometimes the craft stores will have them, and I painted the little ends there. Little apples. Little apple ornaments. I know you guys have seen those. These are actually some old cookie cutters. I think my sister used to have a set of those. And so basically that's, I mean, in fact, the popcorn garland I got from our mission, but you can get those at different Christmas stores and stuff. So this tree was really, really inexpensive. And I got the ribbon at Michael's. You know, you can get that. Usually I use a coupon. Really simple. I get lots of compliments on this tree. And simple and cheap. And then this thing right here, this little crock stand, I actually have a larger one as well. I ordered these on eBay years and years ago from a company called Matthews Wire. I don't believe they're on eBay anymore, but they might have a website. Their shipping was reasonable. I got actually a basket rack from them. I got a couple of things from them. Really, really good quality. And I keep this stuff pretty much on here all year. Not the Christmas stuff. I just tuck this stuff in. But I wanted to show you these little candy canes, and I know you guys may have seen this. These are the little plastic candy canes that you can buy at the Dollar Tree. And I just got some fabric, and I washed it, and I roughed it up a little bit, and I just hot glued it on there, and I kind of tuck those, you know, all over the place. Fun and easy, cheap. Okay, and then this is the shelf in here. I'll have to step back because there's a lot up here. I'll kind of break this down for you a little bit at a time. Up here, you'll see these little trees. There's one right there, and then there's a bigger one. I actually bought those from a website called Factory Direct Crafts, and I've got those kind of all over the house, but they're really inexpensive. They have them in different styles. You just have to pay attention to the size, you know, when you're ordering them. This actually came on a really, really ugly, I think it was a grapevine wreath or something that I got from the Mission. You have to kind of look at things when you go out thrift shopping and garage sale, you know, shopping and other places. A lot of the stuff I get from our Mission, I liked that, and it was hot glued down. And I thought, I don't want it on that wreath, so I just peeled him off and stood him up. But this is just a collection of things that I've had for, most of the stuff I've had for a very long time that friends have made. A friend of mine, Debbie Maxwell, made that for me. It's a little wooden spool, and she just took pine garland and cut it apart and wrapped it and hot glued it and did some little berries, and the little thing that was on top has actually fallen off. But this I got at the Mission, the little wooden tree. A lot of this stuff I got at the Mission was attached to something else, or like it was in a batch. That I got from the Mission. It was broken in a couple of places. The Santa was broken. The sign was by itself, and I took the Santa off of something else and glued him on top of the sign. So I like to like change things around if I can. Obviously my spools, I love to stick stuff in the spools. This I just got. My mom likes that tea, so I saved it. It was a little tin. Ornaments from Walmart. Just kind of tuck all kinds of things in here. This bear I've had for a very, very, very long time. This basket here I actually got at the Mission. This is a Christmas ornament. I love to use Christmas ornaments, you know, where I can. Another one I think I got at Walmart. This is actually another video that I had done years ago on how to make cheap tin look like iron. So I'll have to see if I can link that video tutorial. These I have kind of all over. I bought them on eBay. A lady, they're bowl fillers, and I've used them in different places, but I just attached this on there because I had this ribbon in different places, so kind of ties it in. And then this little guy I believe I got on Factory Direct Crafts. They kind of specialize in Prim stuff, and that's just something I had gotten at a craft show years and years ago. In my Longaberger basket, I just change out what I put in there. So that's that. I'm going to pause and move on to something else. Okay, this used to be, in our other house, the eat-in kitchen was quite large. And I actually had a Scrabble tree, and the table was decorated with little Scrabble name things, which I'll show you in a minute. But my daughter, anytime I go anywhere and find Scrabble games for cheap, usually, like I said, at our Mission, I buy them because I use the, you know, lots of tiles, and you just, you know, save the tiles. I actually have some different size ones or whatever. And since the whole theme of the eat-in was Scrabble, she made me this board. And obviously we had, you know, as many tiles as we needed, and I made ornaments, which I'll show you. But that was really fun, and it's a keepsake because she, you know, she made it for me, and it's really quite special. And I wanted to show you what I did on the cabinets. The little berry wreaths I got a couple years ago, like I said, at Dollar Tree, which I have no idea where you could find those now. Maybe some of you guys were lucky enough to buy those. But I just used the same ribbon that I had gotten at Michael's. I bought quite a bit of that because I like that ribbon. And I hot glued it onto the bottom. And then I just use a little piece of packing tape on the inside of the cabinets. And have no problem. I've had no problem. The last time I had these up, I put them up at our other house at Christmas, and I liked them so much that I left them because the cabinets were so large. Peeled the tape off. I think I had two that had been kind of in a warmer area that the tape stuck, and I just used a little bit of undo which you can get at the craft store and just, you know, wipe it, just takes it right off. And then on some of the cabinets I put the little grapevine wreaths, which, you know, you can get those at the craft store pretty much any time during the year, but I wanted to kind of break it up a little bit. And then my daughter made me the little sweet sign up there. This house, the ceiling is not as high as our other house, but I have, you know, tried to rearrange things so that, you know, they would fit. But I just wanted to show you those little wreaths, because they really, people come in my kitchen and they're like, oh, that is so cute, what a good idea. So I wanted to share that with you. Okay, above the cabinet on the other side, this is just kind of a collection of stuff. It doesn't, some of it doesn't even match. I'm real funny about mixing red and like burgundy, but I had so much stuff that I couldn't use in this house. And I was like, I gotta put up as much of this stuff as I can. That big snowflake, I know you guys have seen, those were at Dollar Tree and they were gold. And I just didn't like them, so I spray painted them and I recoated them with it's like a chunky white glitter that almost looks like sugar crystals at, I think I got them at Hobby Lobby, that big snowflake up there. And my other house, I had a tree actually in that teapot. There's obviously some old cookbooks from my mother, and then my scale. And I just kind of spread stuff up there a little bit. There's actually some stuff that has lights up there, battery powered. And I just tuck some of my, some of my things that I've had that I knew I wasn't going to use up there. It's fun. It's colorful. Okay, this is another little same craft idea. My son actually plays with these, but these are those big plastic candy canes that you get, out. You can get them at Dollar General, whatever, Walmart. And I just took different fabrics and I roughed up the fabric, so the edges would be rough, and then I just hot glued and covered the candy canes. You can see he plays with them, so that one's kind of been unraveled. But that's a fun, easy decorating idea. And then this peace sign was actually replacement board for a privacy fence, and I just kind of dry brushed it, and we sanded it. It was an old piece that somebody had taken down, and like I said, I dry brushed it. Dry brushing, I don't know if you're familiar with what that is, but you basically take a little bit of acrylic paint, you put it on your brush, you get like a paper towel or a napkin or whatever, and you brush the brush on the towel until the paint is almost completely off of the brush. And then you brush it and it gives kind of that whitewash look. And then I cut on my silhouette these letters, and I used, I took the letters out and I used it as a stencil and did peace on there. And then this up here I used to have those red trees in my bedroom, but they were some scroll work from a lady that lives in our town, and I just spray painted them and just put a little thing up there. Okay, and then these little spools actually Michael's had in their dollar bins, and you can buy these little bottle brush trees, and I just glued them right in the top. These little houses, I love the Putz houses, I think is what they're called. My daughter made these for me. I have a Cricut cartridge that will cut these different 3D houses, and it's kind of nice because she's my crafty one. Anyway, so she did those for me, and they're made out of paper, and we just use that same, I don't know if you guys can see that chunky, kind of a chunky glitter. It's fun, and it was cheap, and I get lots of compliments on those. They're pretty cool looking. Okay, here is another one of those trees that I got at Factory Direct, and I just stuck it in whatever, I can't think of what those are called right now, the whiskey bottles or something. Real fun. And then on top of my hutch, this is a horse that my mother and my sisters gave me. I used to collect rocking horses, so I just kind of made a little collection. These are actually something else that I got from the mission, and it was missing some of the pieces. Obviously, whatever they had that went in the place of the O's was gone, and so I ordered these. I believe it was Etsy. I'm not sure if it was Etsy or eBay, but they're all little ornament pieces, bowl fillers, and I just stuck those in there in place of the O's. And those snowmen, or Santas, I actually got at the mission too, and I think I got that plate at the mission. But there's another one of those trees up there, and it's just in a picture. Okay, and these were in my dining room by my Prim tree in the other house, but I couldn't bear to not. I'm sorry, my son decided that he was going to stick his hand in front of the camera. Some friends of mine and I got together. These are actually landscape timbers. I apologize again, I had to stop because he's in trouble. Anyways, these are landscape timbers, and you have to kind of watch when you buy those, because some of them, they're not straight. They kind of, they kind of zigzag. But we basically, everybody did theirs kind of different, and I wanted mine really, really prim, so I used, off-whites and browns, painting them and then sanding them a little bit. The noses are actually, that one got broken, but the noses, let's see if I can zoom in, is actually caulk. And I caulked out the nose shapes, and I wanted them in different, I have 5 kids, you guys, so stuff that gets messed up, that's why some stuff I don't put down. But anyway, I caulked out the shapes on, I think I took some saran wrap and I sprayed like cooking spray so that it wouldn't stick. And then I caulked out a whole bunch of different shapes, just tons and tons, more than I thought we were going to need, and let them dry. And then on mine, I painted them orange, and then I dry brushed a little bit of brown, and then I wiped it off. You probably aren't going to be able to see that, into the cracks, so that they would be a little bit more antiqued. And then I just got on Pinterest and looked for different faces, like on stamps. So you can see they all had different faces. And I got the buttons, I think, at Walmart in a big pack, and tied some embroidery floss. And basically, we cut the mittens and the heart. One of the snowflakes has actually come off. But these were snowflakes that Hobby Lobby had in a big pack. They were ornaments, and I just dry brushed a little bit of white on them. And so they're on the little, they're on a little wooden, we took just a piece of regular wood and cut the little feet so they can stand up. And then this hat, what I did is because, they're different sizes, this was a piece that was a leftover cut off of one of the other pieces. So I painted it black, and then I got black burlap, and I Mod Podged the burlap onto the 2 pieces. So this is a piece of round cardboard that I glued on his head, and then I glued the extra piece that I had covered with the burlap so that the hat, it matches and fits on his head. And then, of course, these are just, pieces of fabric. I made the little bow tie. That's just a piece of burlap that I took the salvage edge and I rolled it up and I wrapped it around, and then I gathered the top and then I slid it into the little pieces. This is just one piece of fabric that I rolled into a tube. I made a cuff and I rolled it into a tube, and then I tied it so his hat would be a little bit different. And then that little sled I actually got at our mission. Again, the bird was at Michael's, and the little feed bag I just glued. I hot glued the bag and painted bird feed. Now normally I would dump bird seed out here, but with my 5-year-old, a lot of that has to, I can't do it because he'll play in it. But these are just styrofoam balls, and I took a piece of flat batting, and then I took the fluffy like polyfill, and I put that there. And now normally I would dump a bunch of the shredded snow and the glittery snow, but I didn't do that again. I only put a little bit because, my 5-year-old just plays in it, and and gets it all over the place. But that's it. I mean, these were really cheap, and you can customize them however you want. This used to have a little sign that said, oh, it was a little snowflake sign. I don't remember now, but anyway, it has gone missing. I've had these for quite a while, but cheap and easy. One of my friends actually was making them to sell, and she did quite well on those here locally. Okay, this is was in my foyer. I mean, it's in my foyer now, but I have a very small foyer, and it's kind of, the whole thing is kind of a nativity theme. But this is my nativity tree, and this little angel I got on Factory Direct Crafts. My son made me all of these little stars. He went out in our yard and he picked out twigs, and I gave him the jute. This is jute from the Walmart jewelry department, and he lashed all the little twigs together and made stars. Okay guys, I'm sorry, my SD card ran out. I'm going to get back to doing the nativity tree, and I'll kind of step back here a little bit. That's actually a butter churn that I put the tree in down there, and I've been meaning to get some dried statice to poke in, and I just keep forgetting to do it every year. Our Publix actually sells big bunches of statice, and then I could just dry it and stick it in there. Because I just like the way the dried flowers fill in, but I'm going to go ahead and show it to you anyway. This tree is another one that was really simple, really cheap. I got the tree itself at our mission. I think it was $5, and I just got rid of the base. I saved the base, but I don't use the base, and I just tucked it in there, and I have packing paper that I stuff the butter churn with. Getting back to the ornaments, I was talking about how my son had made these twig lashed together stars. These I actually cut poinsettias with some dies, and then the little metal rusty bells I had gotten from, I believe it was Factory Direct Crafts, and I just sewed some embroidery floss stitch lines on the poinsettia, and I stitched on the bells. And so there's a couple of those tucked in here. These are just the little grapevine wreaths that you can get at the craft store, and like usually they have them in a big bundle. This was some burlap garland or burlap ribbon. You can find that everywhere, and I just kind of wrapped that around the tree. These I want to say I ordered these from Oriental Trading quite some years ago, and I just stuck those on there. The pine cone bundles, you can get, you know, picks, Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And these were unfinished wooden ornaments, I believe that Michael's had, and I really liked those for this tree. I thought they were pretty. These were some ceramic ornaments that I had gotten from our mission, and then I just tucked some pine cones in, like regular pine cones, wherever there were holes, and there's some little holly, pieces of holly. It's really, really pretty though, and it's a natural kind of looking tree. But again, it was cheap. And then I wanted to show you these trees that my daughter made. There's quite a few of them. What she did was, because styrofoam cones are so expensive, we made paper mache like you would a piñata with paper. She took some placemats from the mission, and different sizes, she cut them and then rolled them into the cone shape, and then she wrapped saran wrap on them and sprayed the saran wrap and then wrapped the paper mache. And we made a whole bunch of these trees at one time with that technique, different sizes and different shapes. And then we just used, this was actually ribbon, which was kind of a pain, but she took lengths of this ribbon that we had gotten, I think it was at Michael's, and then she frayed, like she pulled the strands off the edge so that the edges would look frayed on all of these. This was kind of like a burlap ribbon, and then this one, and then we did a different style, but we made just a whole bunch of those. And because this whole area is kind of a natural thing, but you could use any kind of a ribbon. those were really fun and really, really super cheap. And we didn't have to buy the styrofoam cones because the cones are kind of pricey. Let's see there. So, another little money-saving idea for you. Okay, this is a smaller version of the Prim tree that I had in my dining room in the other video. I wanted to still put it out, and I just put it in this big crock. And I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I did on here. These sunflowers were actually napkin rings at Hobby Lobby, and I really, really liked them and thought they would be nice on the tree, so I just popped the backs off and kind of tucked them in. And some of the stuff, goodness, there's all kinds of stuff on here. Some came from the Mission, some of it came from Factory Direct. There's some berry garlands that came from Factory Direct, and there's actually a metal snowman, one that has bells on it. There's some ornaments that we've made on here. Just kind of it's a conglomeration of all kinds of stuff. These were actually at Michael's. This I've had forever. She used to be on a wreath, so I just stuck them on to the top. There's some metal stars in here. Quite a few ornaments from different places. And I just kind of pulled, you know, stuff that I thought kind of matched all together. This was actually one that I made years and years and years ago for craft shows. Some I've repainted because they didn't, you know, the colors didn't look quite right. These I think actually came from craft store in the cross-stitch department years ago. These were at Michael's in the dollar bin. This joy, this poor tree has had it been rough because Christmas is over. So those stars down there that hold the candles came from Factory Direct Crafts. The cowbells were from, I believe, Walmart last year. Here's another one of those snowmen that I got from either Etsy or eBay. So that's the Prim tree, and it's really, really super cute. And then next to it here on my haul tree, I have my sister got these gingerbreads for me at a craft show, and the sleigh I got at our Mission. Again, I get a lot of stuff at the Mission. You have to go in there regularly. If you have a Mission in your town, don't give up on it. You have to go in frequently because stuff goes out as fast as they put it, you know, as fast as they put it out, it leaves. But, and then here's a Uncle Sam that I got at our Mission, and I just kind of put him up there. Okay, this is a sign that we made from a piece of scrap wood that a friend of mine gave me, Susan, I believe. And I, again, cut the letters on the silhouette. We got rid of the letters and we used the negatives. My daughter stenciled Silent Night on there. And then my son, we got this jute from the Dollar Tree, lashed. I don't know if you can see that. He lashed that on the ends, and then we hang that above the doorway. So effectively, this was a free craft because I already had the white paint, and the wood was free. And it has high impact as far as you know, where we put it, and it looks really cool. The last thing I want to show you is I don't know if you guys are familiar with these. Everyone that comes in and looks at our tree, they're like, oh, that's so cool. So I guess they're not as prevalent as what I think. This is our family tree, and it's I'm just going to show you real quick. It's kind of a mess because it's after Christmas, but I've got those placed all over the tree, and they really kind of bring your tree to life, having these little things on here spinning. But if you guys are familiar with those, you can get them in Christmas shops. You can find them on eBay. They've gotten quite pricey, but they're pretty neat. They can only go on a non-flashing strand, and you can only put 3 per strand. But I wanted to share that with you. They're called Ornimotions. Some of them have different names, but that's primarily what they're called. Okay, this is a desk chair. I have 2 of these. I have one that I put out for regular, regular during the year. And then this is one that I gave my daughter, Brianna. And I just showed her some pictures of how I wanted it to look. And she painted it and did the rest. She did a really good job, little bird on there. But that's a fun project to repurpose a piece of furniture if you have room to store it. Okay, and then these are some stocking hangers that I made out of, I want to say it was 2x4s, and I just covered them with some paper, and I cut the letters on my, I don't know if it was my Cricut or my Silhouette, but they're just little wooden knobs that you can get in the craft department. It's for decoration. I don't hang anything in the stockings. Okay, and this is the miniaturized version of the Scrabble tree. At the other house, it was a larger tree, and I had berry garlands wrapped. If you see the other video, you'll see what I'm talking about. But this is just a small one, and this one's also in a, this is also in a crock. Okay, the ornaments. I took a popsicle stick and I glued the little Scrabble tiles. We had drilled little holes and poked the wire through, and then tied a little piece of raffia on those. And so those are the ornaments, and there's just a bunch. I didn't, let's see, some of them are different configurations. They hang. Here's one. We did family. We did jubilation. There's just some fun words. And then on the table at the other house, at each place setting, we made out of the Scrabble tile holders. My husband cut them down after we saw how big we needed them, and then I put the each person's name in there. We all have one, and then we stuck them at the different place set. These are ornaments that were actually on a different tree that my daughter made out of cheap balls. She painted them, and then crackle painted, and then painted another color on top, and then just tied a little piece of fabric. Those were fun. We made those in a bunch of different colors. And then this garland is, I know you guys have seen this, it's just a rag garland. We took a whole bunch of different fabrics and cut it with pinking shears. And it takes forever. It's a project that you might want to do while you're sitting and, watching TV. But you just cut small little pieces and you tie it. We used a piece of jute and we tied it onto the jute. And then you can, these I actually made in short lengths because the long pieces they're kind of hard to deal with when you have a big long piece. So we made short little ones. I want to say they were 3 feet or 4 feet long, so that I could, tuck them in at different places and use them around. But it's a fun little tree.